Short chart update on the gold price. Obviously, after we hit the low around 1183 a few weeks ago now, it's been a reasonably good move up to 1250 this week. I think it got to 1253 intraday or 1254, and then it stopped. So I've drawn the Fibonacci retracement levels in here. So generally, we're sort of a sign of strength is if we can get above this 50% to 61.8%, you're looking at a bit of a stronger move. So at the moment, we sort of paused at 38 here, which happens to coincide with this previous low. So it's sort of undecided at the moment. We'll have to wait and see, I think. Just a short chart update on Northern Star Resources. They had their quarterly report this week on Thursday. You can see we sort of had this doji candle here. Initially, I think the market liked it, but then the sellers came in and were firmly in control on Friday. It wasn't a stellar report. I think the costs were maybe a little bit higher than some people had expected, and the ounces were only in line with guidance. So it's looking like it's going to struggle to get above this sort of 140 zone in the short term, where it gapped down a couple of weeks ago. The long-term sort of support line is this $1.05 sort of level. So we'll have to wait and see if it gets there. Obviously, it's highly dependent on the gold price as well, but yeah, not overly strong in the short term. This is a chart update for Perseus Mining. You can see I've still got this resistance level around 50-55 cents. I think that's still going to be pretty important in the near term. Just in the last couple of weeks, they had their quarterly announcement for the September quarter. Costs were down significantly, and ounces produced was at least above guidance. And it's sort of hard to know whether they're going to be able to keep that up, though. So I think a few people bought in on the announcement. You can see here this long wick, and then it was sold down for pretty much the last week, and it's got back down to 34 cents now. So the market still seems to be pretty skeptical. So I've just added the chart for the short positions for Perseus. I can see since the this sort of low in the short positions around the 10th of July, which happened to coincide with this high in the share price, there's been a continual increase in the shorts, despite the fact that the fundamentals of the company are seemingly improving. I tend to look at the sort of the short positions as a bit of a leading indicator, because usually it's sort of smart money shorting, so they tend to be a bit ahead of the curve. So despite the fact the fundamentals are improving, shorts are still increasing, which isn't usually a very good sign. You'd think if they start to believe the company's turning around, they'll be looking to cover, but yeah, it's a little bit concerning. This is a chart of Regis Resources. It's been fairly weak the last few weeks since it got to almost $2 a couple of months ago. And we're looking like it's going to come back and test this previous low around $1.35. I think the market will be pretty eagerly awaiting their quarterly result, which should come out by the end of next week. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a case of showing the companies can keep improving operational performance and get their costs down, just like most of the gold miners, and to get some of the credibility they had back. I'll just put up a chart of the short position. So I've just put up that chart for the short positions. You can see that we've pretty much been going in a straight line for all this year in terms of shorts. And we started at 10 million shares short, which is about 2% of the issued shares of Regis. And now we're up to almost 50 million shares, which means it's 10% of the issued shares are short. So it's a pretty heavy short weighting. It's very rare that you see a stock of this type up above 10%. So the market's betting on some pretty major stagnation in the performance of the company, and obviously the share price reflects that as well. So I think that quarterly report is very important. And if the quarterly shows some good signs of improvement, I think some of these shorters are going to have to start covering, and it's going to take a fair while to cover that many shares. So yeah, it's something to watch. And if the operational performance improves, it's definitely going to put sort of an upward bias on the share price, I think, in the medium term.